Hey.
Okay, cool. Should we leave the door open or closed? What do you think?
It's probably gonna get warm, but you're gonna get outside noise. Outside noise if you don't close it. So
So too, I don't want to get.
maybe we get a ceiling fan and put it in here versus an AC.
Well,
I mean an AC as well, but I'm just thinking noise wise.
yeah. Well, the AC, I'll probably just like if I know you're coming over.
Yeah, have
I
that
can
fucker
run and just put it on like 50 and just run
Gotcha,
for an
yeah.
hour or two, and then
Come in here.
kick it off, and we'll get
Gotcha.
a couple hours, you know.
Yeah.
And then eventually, man, I mean, I can just move everything inside if we have to. I mean, I like having it out here
Yeah.
because it's
Its
like a
own
little
space,
studio and its own little. You come out here, you walk
Yes.
away from the house.
Yeah.
You come outside and you get like into we're fixing to do a podcast
Yeah.
kind of mode.
Yes,
You know?
that's what I was thinking.
Can we see us? Looks like we can kind of see us all.
It seems like we're pretty even on it. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Good.
Anyway, yeah. So I don't know. So I kind of want to leave it out here, but there is no insulation in here at all, and there's
Yeah,
no
you can feel
AC.
that.
Yeah. No shit. No shit. There's no insulation. And that's also really not. I needed to get a dehumidifier and an AC.
Yeah, for the equipment.
For the
Yeah.
equipment, especially now that it's going to start getting kind of warm, probably. So.
Here in about 10 minutes.
Yeah, well, about 10 minutes ago, actually. Yeah. Yeah, but it's going to be really hot in about 10 minutes when we're in here with the fucking...
Extra breath.
Let's see. Yeah. Nowhere to go. I'm going to close this. I think we got plenty of light.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We got plenty of light, dude.
Okay, cool. All right. Well, what's up, man? How's your day?
Besides what we talked about earlier,
Yeah.
it was good.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you about my new small addiction is quintet.
Yeah.
Like I said,
Okay,
it's
you
a
mentioned
jiu-jitsu
something
tournament
about
by Kazushi Sakuraba. You ever heard of him? He's an old MMA guy.
Probably.
He used to be like a Gracie killer.
Okay.
And,
yeah. Okay, I've seen pictures of him.
So he's broken.
pretty sure.
He beat up Hoist, I think. He broke Henzo's arm.
Yes.
He fought some other Gracies. Anyways,
Okay.
it's his new grappling tournament, and the way they do it is it's teams. Say there's 4 teams, 5 on each team, and it's random on who competes with who. So it's a tournament. But A goes with A, and if they're within weight parameters of each other,
Okay.
then it's at 8 minutes. So they get 8 minutes. If they don't submit, both of them are out.
So submission only.
Yes, both
Okay.
of them are out for that particular bracket of the tournament. So A goes with A. They don't submit, they're out. If there's a weight difference, it's only 4 minutes long.
I mute my phone. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No
Go
worries.
ahead.
If there's a weight difference, it's only 4 minutes long. So you're whatever. There would be a 4-minute match between me and you because there's a weight difference.
Okay.
So you got 5 people, and at the end, if there's no significant difference if none of them are submitted, so everyone gets eliminated from that round, then it goes to how many people got warnings, and they just give warnings for basically stalling, not enough action.
Stalling,
And
okay.
so it's sort of, that's the one thing that's kind of weird, but they're pushing action.
Gi, no gi.
It's all no gi.
All no gi.
And
Yeah.
they'll have some super fights, but so you've got those 2 brackets, and if I've talked to too many people that don't enjoy watching grappling,
Yeah, just
they
like
doing
pure
it.
grappling.
Yeah, but they just can't get into it, and
Yeah.
this gets you into it because you're thinking, okay, if this guy loses, so if A beats A, then A from the team that won has to go against B of the next team,
Right,
And then if
okay.
he beats B, goes against C, so he could potentially clean out the whole other team without any of his guys having to compete.
Yeah. Okay.
Or vice transversely, D or E could be the last one and then defeat all the other guys. So it's really cool team, and it's not long. It's real fun.
Man, you mentioned team. I wanted to just tell you this right quick because I thought maybe something you'd kind of think was cool. I got a recommended video in my YouTube. I was just scrolling through YouTube the other day and had recommends videos for you, and one of them was the World Championship of Tag. Have you ever seen that?
Yes.
I was like, those guys are so fast.
They-
So if you haven't seen it, anybody out there, I'll explain it really quickly. It's like parkour, gymnastics, and tag, team-based tag. So they stand on the end. There's an arena. There's
Yeah,
pipes.
I didn't know it was team.
Yeah, it's the one I saw was team. It was
cool.
like maybe it was World Championship team tag or something. But yeah, there's pipes and platforms
Yeah.
all out in the middle. So you saw kind of the same
that's
thing. And they chase each
fucking
other
awesome.
and they dive through it and I mean they were so agile.
Yes.
It was just making my ankles hurt. Like the way they were changing directions, like flipping over stuff. And they're all about your size,
Yeah.
but even like they just run. That's all they
Yes.
do. They just
Yeah.
run. I think I just spit all over the place. But man, anyways, it just reminded me of that and I just thought I think that anybody, it's amazing to me how good a human can get at something that they focus on.
Yes.
Darts, pool, jiu-jitsu,
Math.
tag, math,
Yes.
restoring old cars, if they just develop like this singular interest and pursue it
Yeah.
and push, how good they can get at something.
Yeah.
Like watching like a professional pool player, it's like, how do they do that?
Yeah, that's pretty
just-
cool to watch. So I've
Anyway.
there's a lot of things like that I really like. That given enough time, maybe I would get better at. That I do it as much as I can, but I just suck. And some of it's just so hard. Like pool is hard
Yeah,
to do.
I can't. Yeah,
It's fucking hard.
It is. It's really hard. I guess you got to maybe have some kind of weird mathematic natural ability, and then just and enjoy it,
Yes.
and have the time, and just
Yeah.
really like fall in love with it,
Yeah.
and go and learn every little angle and spin.
Yeah.
Whew, man, it's complicated.
I was looking into that for just a little while because we had a pool table, and I was learning about the spins and how to give it,
Yeah.
or how to make it do that. And it once again, once you know how to do something, it gets even funner.
Yeah. Oh
Because
yeah.
now once again, it's just that extra level. Just like we were talking about last time, MMA, it's more interesting now because you know how to grapple. So when you're watching it, maybe Philip was saying this.
Maybe it was. I think so. Yeah.
As he was watching it, he knew once he goes to the ground, it got more interesting because he knew what was going on. And I found that as I learned more about boxing. Now boxing itself is more interesting because I
Right.
know, this is why they're moving this way. That's why they're
Right.
doubling up on this, whatever.
Right.
And all those things, the more I learn about them, it just makes MMA that much more interesting.
You appreciate it too,
Yes.
because you understand the work that goes into
Yeah.
the hours that they've got in the gym, the mat, just jogging, doing weight training, their diet, just rolling with people over and over and over and over again to build all those skills. You know what it takes,
Yeah.
so you appreciate it and you understand it.
Yeah.
And you can see, he's going for the foot, or he needs to shift his hips that way. Oh, he shifted his hips that way, and that's you just kind of develop an appreciation and a knowledge of it that you can't get unless you do it.
Yeah.
You just can't. You can know all about it. You can sit on your couch and watch the UFC or jiu-jitsu tournament and know, okay, that's a triangle, that's side control, that's guard. But when you do it, it's so much different.
Yeah.
It's like anything. When you know somebody, I always like talking to anybody. I can almost get into a conversation with anybody that has some, even if it's something I'm not really interested in, but they have like a passion for
Yes.
it. Like, what do you like to do? Oh, I like to, I really like carving figurines out of soap. Like, oh, well, I can't do that and I have no interest. But if they're like, yeah, you get all these tools and there's these little bitty tiny knives just for this industry. There's a whole subculture of these people that do this, and then you can finish it with some kind of epoxy glaze, and look how talented. I mean, I can go, man, this is badass at the end of it. Like, I want to start carving soap.
Yeah.
But I appreciate the passion, because it's like when I talk about jiu-jitsu or music or something that somebody isn't into. If they're interested just in the passion that I have, we can talk all day long.
Yeah.
They can tell me about some dumb hobby that they like that I'm not. Well, I don't care. I'm never going to do that, but I want to like watch you do it. You know what I mean? Or that's pretty cool. Anyway, I don't know how I got onto that, but passion. So this jiu-jitsu tournament, tell me a little bit more about it. So it's no gi. It's all no gi.
Yeah, it's all no gi. Like I said, it keeps. I thought it was a good idea to get people interested and get them to watch, because it's not just watching this one match. It's okay, if this guy beats him, he has to go against the next guy. So it's more team oriented, and you're looking forward to something that's going to happen right now.
Yeah.
Versus just a 15-minute match. Those can get boring. I understand that.
Yeah.
It just caught my attention. There's 3 of them out right now, and I'm loving that shit.
It's called Quintet.
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 Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna have to check it out. It's on YouTube or something.
Yeah, a lot of them are on YouTube.
YouTube.
I've got Fight Pass, and I just watch all that shit on there.
Man,
but they're on YouTube.
I thought about getting that Fight Pass stuff. That's what is it, like $10 a month or
$10 a
something,
month.
and you get just pretty much anything.
It's a massive library.
Yeah, like every UFC fight ever, right?
Yes,
pretty.
yes.
I mean,
all the UFC fights.
from
yes.
1 through.
They've got all the
something.
UFC. They got Pride. They have when Elite XC was a thing, Strike Force. They got Kickboxing Glory. I don't think they have K1, although they might. If they have K1, they might have. I don't know. Anyways, they have a bunch of Glory. They have Polaris, which is a jiu-jitsu tournament.
Yeah.
They've got Quintet. They've got Eddie Bravo.
Yeah, the EBI stuff.
Yes.
And, combat jiu-jitsu.
Yes, it's all in there. And they've got just all kinds of other MMA as well.
That's
so they've
cool.
got a bunch of shit.
Yeah, I thought about getting that, just because one of my deficiencies when I'm talking about jiu-jitsu and MMA and stuff is I don't really follow individual people all that much. I mean, yeah, I know, the big people are, most of them anyway. Sometimes somebody's like, you haven't heard of that guy, but but I just like the sport of it. You know what I mean? I don't really follow like that guy's record or this guy's record, and unless it's just some random, YouTube video article I run across about some MMA guy that's, or you can't avoid it, like a Conor McGregor type situation where it's just everywhere, So individual people, and there's all those super, super talented guys and girls that like, you see some highlight reel and it's like, who is that dude?
Yeah.
What did you see that he just pulled off? Yeah. And I know there's tons of those guys, but it's almost too many to keep up with.
It is. I think it is.
Yeah.
Whenever Joe Rogan starts having problems remembering the people, then we know it's too many.
Yeah, and that's his job.
Yes, that's what he's done. There's a location in his brain just for that, a vault. And when he starts having problems, then we have issues. There's too many fucking people.
You know what I want to see in the you know what I miss, or especially now that we do a lot of gi jiu-jitsu, I really want to see somebody in the gi back in the octagon.
Doing MMA?
Yeah, just get in there. I mean, how awesome would it be to see
it'd be fucking interesting, I'll tell you that.
Like an Ezekiel or a fucking just weird like baseball. They they get their gi around, do like a baseball. I mean, that'd be awesome, like a baseball show.
Yes.
Or something.
They have that one cat, I'm gonna fuck up his name probably. Olenek. I think he's gotten at least 2 Ezekiels in MMA, one of which was in UFC from the bottom where the guy was mounting him.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I got inside.
No
he got
gi.
the choke.
Okay, no, yeah.
He just rolled over and no gi Ezekiel.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's pretty interesting that they're getting away with these things that they shouldn't be able to do.
Yeah.
Just like the weird kicks. As soon as they get comfortable with everything else, then they can do this shit that they're not supposed to be able to do and get away with, and that's very interesting to me.
And then some of the people that are fighting now are just incredible athletes. They're
more and more. They're just
it's becoming, I guess, more financially viable to fight for a few years if you're an incredible if you have a lot of athleticism and you can devote the time to training.
Yeah,
and you have to want to fight too. I mean, it's a totally different story. I would imagine somebody could probably play some sport, I don't know what, for a while and not really care for it, like baseball. Yeah. Like, I go out there and pitch. I can throw 100 miles an hour, but man, I really want to fly fighter jets. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, but they can do it for, but fighting, it takes such a toll and it's such a commitment.
Yes. I think it takes a certain mindset to want to get in there for one, and that mindset needs to push you through the training. And because if you don't want to murder that dude, and you're sort of like, I don't know if I want, then that dude probably does want to murder you. Yeah. That dude does want to be champion. Yeah. He's got a different mindset coming in. You're already questioning it,
right?
And there's too much on the line.
Yeah, they're going in. Your opponent may go in. He's leaving it in the ring. Who was it? God, man, who was it? There was I was reading an article about old MMA fights, and it was I think it was Big John McCarthy. Is that his name? Yeah.
Yes.
He had written an article or an opinion, or like an editorial or something for like a Ringside magazine or something, and he was talking. I'm butchering this, but I remember the gist of the story was some fighter was in the ring in like just UFC 3 or something, and his opponent had him down and he was pounding on his face, and the guy pounding on the guy's face was saying, just tap, and the guy on the bottom was saying, fuck you, you're gonna have to kill me. I'm never tapping like that. You may go up against somebody like
dude.
That.
Yeah,
that guy.
That guy's out there.
There's
both of those guys are out there. That's the problem.
He's like, okay, I guess I'm just gonna fucking kill you then.
And they just keep going, and he's looking at the ref, and that's what's interesting to me. He has the mindset to beat the shit out of this dude and stare at the ref and just tell him to stop. Hey, just stop the fight, and he won't stop it, so he just keeps going. Yeah, that's a different switch going off as well. I think.
There's.
Because some people that you see them, they'll sort of let up.
They'll hold back.
And it costs them sometimes. Yeah. And that's a weird thing, too.
Yeah, there has been some people that have got caught in a left hook, thinking something's over with, and then re-engaging, and all of a sudden, like just some crazy overhand or a left hook or a little short. I mean, it's so weird sometimes what knocks people out. Yeah. Those little tiny, I know, of course, we've all seen highlight reels of just, right hands fucking coming missile. From miss, just crack. Yeah. But then there's just those little boop, and the person just bam. It's like what even hit the guy?
One of the best guys for those highlights for me was Chuck Liddell. I remember he fought. I think it was when he fought Vernon Tiger White. This was years ago, but probably 5 angles. I'm just saying that dude threw the fucking fight. That dude threw the fight for Chuck Liddell. And that 6th angle, you see how it had an impact.
Yeah.
And how it jarred him. But the rest of them, it's like, no, that didn't even fucking touch him.
Yeah.
What that? But like you said, it's that weird angle.
It's
something
just-
hits.
Something hits just right.
Yeah, it's very interesting.
I've caught my, turning to do something, and not even hard, just catch your jaw on the door, or like, you're in the bathroom or in the kitchen, and you getting the spice out, and you leave the door open, and you're cooking. I don't cook very much, but I've done this a couple of times. You go to cook, and then you turn, bam, and you hit the door, and it's not hard. It's just kind of from here to here, but it catches you just right, and for a few seconds, you're like, what the shit happened? So I can imagine a quick little on the jaw.
So have you ever been unconscious due to external forces?
Yes, when I was I was like 8 or 9, I was racing my bike downhill in the neighborhood we lived in. And I was racing 2 or 3 of my friends, and with this hill that went down, and it dead ended
on a street.
Yeah,
Okay.
in the neighborhood down. It would a street that went downhill, and I had a friend that lived here, and a friend that lived here, and it dead ended. There was a cul-de-sac with some basketball courts, and a friend that lived at the very end of the cul-de-sac. And I think we were all 3 racing our bikes. I don't remember how we got started. I lived at the top of the hill, kind of across the street. So we get the hill. We used to ride. We used to lay on skateboards and lose down it and all that stuff. Anyway, so we're racing, and for whatever reason, I'm winning, which was weird because one of my friends usually beat me. So I turned to look, and I turned back, and those big, like, wooden flower pots that are like
Yes.
3 or 4 feet in diameter or whatever, and they're filled usually with just this particular lady had one to enter her driveway, and it was just years and years of her just putting plants in it every season, and they die, and plants and die, and plants and die. So it was solid. And the last thing I remember is I turned, and I remember that flower pot. And then I woke up the next day in the hospital with my face all scratched up.
Oh my God.
I hit it, apparently. I don't know. I ran into it and went over the handlebar and like face planted and scorpion,
Oh my God.
slid across the thing and knocked myself totally out. My friend rode his bike up to my house and told my mom, she said, I don't know what's wrong with Barrett, but he's bleeding, he's not moving. And of course my mom, just freaked the fuck out.
God.
Threw me in the back of the car and drove me to the hospital. I was totally unconscious.
Till the next day.
Yeah, I mean, hours and hours later. I mean, I was like 8 or 9, so time frame of it and all that. But so that's it. That's all I remember. I mean, I don't remember any pain or anything. Not until I woke up and my face, the road rash on my face. So what about you? You've been unconscious?
Yeah, I've been unconscious many times.
Really? From fighting or
no, just life,
just doing stupid shit.
And I go into some of them, but I thought that was interesting.
Some of them we can't talk about.
Well, no, I'm sure I forgot some of them. Right?
So man, you don't remember that time that you? No.
Well,
Come on, man! You don't remember we were doing shots and you jumped off?
Well, there's a lot of that.
Well, it happened. Here's the video.
Yeah, that's what we need now is the video because I've had too many. That's what made me stop drinking as much because I used to just like everybody else who has poor drug education. We get alcohol, we just drink as much as we can, and we do it for many years. And you're a fucking idiot. But so I got tired of too many people coming up to me and saying, "Hey," they introduce themselves, and I have no idea who they are. Oh, well, remember you were at the party doing this and throwing people in the pool or jumping off.
Yeah,
I need to stop drinking. Okay, that's cool. No, it's big negative, dude. First time I ever met you, man.
Really?
But anyways, I thought it was weird when I started dating my wife, soon-to-be ex-wife, when we started dating, that she'd never been unconscious. I thought everybody.
I punched her in the face.
I just choked the shit out of her.
I was like, really? Bam!
Well, I just thought because it happened to me so much as a child. I was like, everybody's been unconscious, you know?
Yeah.
Because we even got to a point in high school where we played a game called the knockout game or something like that, where you hold your breath and you squeeze them and they pass out.
Yeah, I never did any of that. For some reason, I always kind of just intuitively knew that I didn't want to be unconscious. Like that's when something's bad going on.
Yeah,
so
it's not good.
I remember we had a couple of friends who were like, "Hey man, let me do this thing on you." And I was like, "No, I don't want to do that. You're not trained. You don't know how to resuscitate me. We're in a shady basement. You're not choking me out, man. I'm sorry." Now I do jujitsu but I tap and you guys. I trust you guys in my life. You'll let me go. So anyway. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'll just fucking ramble.
Yeah, no one's knocking me out in a basement. For sure, not a
I
fucking
mean,
basement.
we're at like
I get it.
doing,
Or a van.
somebody snuck some alcohol away from their mom's cabinet or whatever, and we're like, drinking it in there. Hey man, let's do this thing where you hold your breath and I like choke you. And no, I'm not that drunk. No, I'm not letting you do that. No. Anyway.
Well, the drunk thing's a weird one because everybody wants to get what is it? They get a little braver, or more brave rather, courageous when they're drunk. Anyways, so a couple ways I've been knocked out as a child. I think I was in the first or second grade. And I just went to the fridge. We had a top and bottom freezer. And
I don't know why. This is the first or second grade for some reason. It's hilarious to me because you're so young and you're already knocking yourself out. All right, go ahead.
So you remember y'all may have drank them as a child. They have the cans of juice concentrate. They keep frozen.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Orange juice, apple juice.
We have the top and bottom freezer. The freezer's on top, and I go in there to open the freezer, and I don't remember reaching anything. I think something was just loose in there.
Yeah.
And one of them cans,
it knocked you out.
Right. I think it split my eyebrow a little bit, and I just laid down. Boom. And my mom came and found me.
Wow.
Out. That's like I said, that's to me. That's the first time. I don't know. That's not the first time I've ever been knocked out. I used to have this issue. I
was like 3. Okay,
well, probably something
doing
like that.
handstands on the coffee table.
Coffee table. I slid under one time and knocked myself out. But it wasn't a coffee table. It was an island in the kitchen.
Yeah.
And I had socks. And I was running from one end to the other and sliding this way, and then I would slide back that way and slide this way, and it had just a little like. I don't know, fucking broom handle holding it up.
Yeah.
Because it was a nice little area. But slid right into that motherfucking thing. Once again, out on the floor, just out fucking cold. But I think I used to have this issue where I would pass out if I got too excited. I think I would hyperventilate or something like that. I'd get play and happy.
Is that just like is that like an energy thing? Oh no. Hate it when that happens.
I think it's a scared white person thing.
You think so?
No, I have no idea what it is, to be honest with you.
Hopefully this is not going to fuck anything up.
It probably is.
Yeah, I know.
But I was probably 3 or something like that. My brother was chasing.
See? Yeah, see? We're started a trend. That cable's got like a...
Yeah.
An
Can you still hear me?
Okay. Yeah. Let me make sure you're going through that.
Yeah, that's what matters.
Yeah, that's what matters. I don't need to hear you. We can just... 2 totally different conversations, and we'll blend them later.
But my brother was chasing me around the yard, and like I said, must have been 3 or something like that because I could walk. And my aunt, she thought he killed me because I got too excited and just passed out as he was reaching for me, or whatever. And she chased him, and I think she beat the hell out of him, thinking he killed me instead of picking me up and worrying about me. But I assume she left me.
She didn't try to resuscitate you or anything.
I don't think so. But so. Yeah, that was. I used to have that issue. Hopefully, I don't have it anymore. I haven't passed out in a while because of that. Other things, but not that. So
one of my earliest memories, I was probably 3-ish or 4-ish, and we lived not far from here, but and not really in the country. But we had like a big field next door to our house. We had a big yard. My grandparents lived next door, so I had like, several, and then we had woods all behind our house that were kind of crossed between. Just in between neighborhood area, and my grandparents owned some of the property, so trails and stuff all through it. We had go-karts and stuff. And one of my earliest memories is it reminded me when you said she was chasing him instead of going to see after you. I was doing donuts in the field next to our house in a go-kart, and I was literally probably 4 maybe, and there was a little hill or dip or something in the field, and I was like going full speed and slamming on the brakes and spinning, and just something caught and it flipped over, you know what I mean? And landed on top of me. And my dad was outside just working in the backyard or something on a car or something like that. And I think he had longer hair. I don't really remember, but I was crawling out from underneath it, and he was running across the field. And I was like 100 yards away, and he was full speed running in his old, like, dad 80s jeans, I remembered like just, I kind of
didn't have a mullet, did he?
No, he didn't have a mullet.
Good. At least he's just a hippie.
No, he didn't have a mullet. I don't think it was long at this point. He had longer hair when he's like in college a little bit or whatever, but at this point it was still probably long, but not like, shoulder length or anything. I don't know. It just, but he had one of those like button up shirts on, or like a tight, '80s looking just Walmart shirt or something, with the collar on it.
Yeah.
I just remember that look coming at me, and I was like 3 or 4, and this is like 80, 83, 84, 85.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
I was born in
82.
That's when I was born.
Yeah, I was born in 79, so it was
That's
like
not that bad,
82,
yeah.
83 maybe. Yeah.
That's cool. You got to flip a go-kart at 4 years old.
Yeah, no, I
man.
got out of the way early.
Awesome.
And then not long ago, about 8 or 9 years ago, not even that long, man, probably 6 or 7, got a hold of another go-kart, and me and another neighbor, we had go-karts, and we were riding it behind. This is where I lived for a little while, and there was this area at the bottom of 2 hills in the road where they were developing some property, but it didn't have a driveway yet, so these big trucks were going in and out. And so right there on the spill of the road where the road made this dip, there was just loose gravel and dirt and rock. So we were going full speed, slamming on the brakes and spinning
cool.
around in flip-flops and like swim trunks,
super
just
safe.
super totally safe. And I did it one time, and the wheel just caught, and it blam blam blam. And I went like tumbling through the road. I've done that a few times. I've only been, as far as I know that I can remember, I've only been knocked out once, but I've got lots of road rash, man.
Oh, yeah.
Had just skid my bike, jumping something.
Oh, yeah.
Crashing a go-kart. I've done that lots, man.
Yeah, I'm trying to get my son to where he's brave enough to do stuff like that. He's not old enough yet to really make poor decisions like that. Well-informed poor decisions.
Yeah.
But it's going to be interesting when he does, because he likes to climb. He loves doing all that stuff. So, but we used to do that a lot too. Just anything we could do, we'd climb and ramp off stuff. I used to be really big into wrestling. WWF is what it was back then. WCW.
Yeah.
And this was before I found MMA. And I was in high school, and I would wrestle anybody the same way. We would power bomb each other on the ground. I would jump off of houses onto people,
on the tile floors,
yes.
just wherever. It didn't matter.
Mostly out in the grass, the hard ass. But still, we did it on the gym floor.
Yeah, and off the bleachers.
Yes,
and shit, yeah.
I jumped off bleachers. The fence, we fixed it up so I could jump off of it. And I remember one time we got real into it. There was this company called ECW Extreme. They would do all the weird,
the backyard shit.
Yeah, the barbed wire ropes and the tacks and all that shit and the fire. But so we got real into that, and the trailer we were living in at the time had a step up. It was like 3 steps to the kitchen, and then the living room was all open. So it was almost like a platform for the kitchen and dining room area.
Gotcha.
Which makes a great place to wrestle, especially if you're a drunk teenager.
Yeah.
But yes,
dive off the edge and then down into the
So a buddy of mine, we were there, and anyways, I got knocked out that night, I think, once. And if I didn't get knocked out, it was just a concussion. But yeah, we hurt each other there. But I was mistaken. So whenever I hit my buddy with the chair, you ever the metal chairs they used to hit each other with? Well, apparently those aren't like the solid chairs we used to sit in. They're sort of flimsier. I didn't know that. We've learned that night, though.
There's a lot of those little tricks like that.
Yeah, like prop chairs is what they are.
Prop chairs and.
But one night we got really drunk after I'm pretty sure this was the night. This was before he puked up all the gummy worms. But so we were out in this almost a dog pen. It was made for dogs. We hadn't had dogs in it in a long time, and we were jumping off the corners onto each other and putting stuff up.
Yes. So we turned it into a ring. Yeah.
Yes. And,
a cage. You're basically cage fighting.
Cage fighting. Very. And that's
cage
when we
fighting
learned
with props. Yeah.
Well, that's when we learned that the chair wouldn't bend, because he was coming at me. There was a few of us wrestling, and I smacked him in the head with it, and he just sort of bent over and kept stumbling. And I was like, he didn't fall down. And I more than that, I was looking at the chair. I was like, it didn't bend. It always bent on TV.
Yeah. Like
so as he bent
around
over,
the guy,
I smacked him in the back, and I think that finished him out. He just laid there.
You think it finished him off?
I mean, he just laid down. I assume he was knocked out.
You think it finished him off?
Well, he quit moving, so I just went to wrestling someone
else.
else.
There, and I'm going to go ahead and say you finished him off. Yeah. 2 smacks with the chair. One of them totally by surprise.
Yes, straight on the
How
skull.
old were y'all? Like 15?
Yeah, 15, 16, 17, something like that.
Yeah.
Young, poor informed.
We were, sure. We were talking about this kind of the other podcast, and I don't know if the one that we did the other day, we talked for like an hour and a half first, and then the computer ate itself and all that. And then we talked the second time, but I don't remember where this was. I when I was younger and I'd wrestle with friends. I'm talking even young. I kind of mentioned this I would kind of instinctively go for like joint locks and wrist locks. Did I mention that to you?
A little bit.
It's just so jiu-jitsu is just so much fun to me. But I never did the the WWE stuff, like jumping off ropes and pile driving and all that. I was a guard puller even when I was like 8. When I was rolling with my friends or something, or 10 or 11, when I had a friend over to spend the night, we'd get into like a little, just wrestling scrap or pillow fight till we got, till we were just like about to kill each other.
Yeah.
I'd always like swing the pellet just so I could get in for, like get some grappling move
That's
and go
interesting.
down. That was me. I was like, no, I'm not a striker. I'm going to grapple.
Even when I tried to fight, I wouldn't. I tried to be a striker, but yeah, that's interesting that you would always go to that.
I don't know why.
Because I always wanted to do that. I love the luchadors, the Mexican wrestlers, the smaller, the masked guys. They could do all kind of shit, and that's where I did all that stuff.
One of my one of the wrestling Nintendo games when I was like 10 or 11. My favorite character was, I can't remember who he was. He had a mask and he was like the smaller guy, but he could flip. And
the Rey Mysterio Jr.
Rey Mysterio Jr.
That was one of my favorite ones. I had his mask too. I had it.
Like a bluish kind of teal mask.
Well, they had different colored masks.
Okay.
Yeah, I think the one he wore most times like a greenish color with like red and yellow bird on it, but they came in all different colors.
Okay, I remember that. Man, wrestling's something too like that I never really got into. I was trying to think when I was younger, just running in the woods and shooting BB guns. That's like what I wanted to do all day long. My brother and I that same area I was talking about. Let me get some water. My brother's like 3.5 years older than me, and we just disappear into the woods for hours with
we did too.
Daisy, a little Daisy single punk, like a Red Rider or whatever, and 1,000 BBs. And my mom actually had a bell. Like a bang 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 bang, and she would when it was time to eat, we'd just bang 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 bang. She'd stand on the back porch, and we'd be just a mile out in the woods and come walking back. I say a mile, it's probably a couple hundred yards or whatever. You're 4 years old with a BB gun. It feels like it's a mile, So
that's interesting. My mom used to be able to whistle really loud, and she would do the same. She'd stick her head out the door, and we wouldn't come home until she whistled or it was dark.
Yeah.
And now with kids, your kids are older than mine, but when I think about doing that, I try to let them play outside, but like if it's the front yard, it's not fenced in. It's just you're almost a nervous fucking wreck.
It's so weird, man. I don't know what.
I don't know that that's good for them. I mean, it keeps them from getting raped and murdered, but which is a good thing. But I don't know how good it is, what it's doing to them growing up and their independence and creativity and stuff like that.
Right. Yeah. We tend to think that if I did something and I turned out okay, then you should do this.
Yes.
And you'll turn out okay. But
that's not necessarily true.
There's
I got
7 billion of us on the planet, and that's just not true for everybody. Yeah. It may be, but it may there's no way to ever have everybody do all the same thing. So, but I think we go through waves. I'm hoping that this. How can I put this into words? This, our addiction to, and I'm kind of hypocritical because we're doing this to honestly, I'm kind of doing this for me and just, we talk about this a lot. It's therapeutic just to sit here and talk for like an hour or two, even though I have sweat running down my ass right now. You probably do too. So
I'm not a big sweater.
Yeah, I am. I'm a swetter, man. I'm a sweater. I've actually used it in jiu-jitsu before.
That's what I was going to ask.
I don't have any hair to catch my sweat on my head. So if I'm on top of somebody, man, and they're working a collar or trying to get a sweep, I can just, just a couple of drips pop down and they'll, and I can slip in a wrist.
You remember the CrossFit guy? I'm pretty sure it was him.
Yeah.
I think that if I'm not mistaken, if I'm blaming him, I'm sorry, but one guy specifically, I've had it happen by a lot of people, but this guy got on top of me in my guard and went to try and pressure me, so he stacked. He got his head straight over mine, and it was like a fucking faucet.
Just
poured
dripping
sweat into my mouth, my eyes, my nose. I turned, it went in my ears. It was so much water coming off this man's body. And I tell people that story. I'm like, so you want to try jiu-jitsu?
Oh,
that's not a sell.
I've got a better one.
Oh, okay.
Do you know the story I'm talking about?
No, please indulge.
Okay, so when I was a white belt, this is maybe just not even probably a month into jiu-jitsu, okay? And I've told this one to a few people. So I'm rolling with a purple belt, Josh, the older guy. Do you remember him?
Yes.
Okay, and I remember where we were in the gym. We're on Jackson Street in the gym up in that. When you walk in the door to the left, all the way in that corner, like by the glass,
by the windows,
by the windows in the front. And we were rolling, and I didn't even have a stripe yet. I don't think so. This was just a couple of months, at most, a couple of months into jiu-jitsu and rolling. I didn't know anything but just strength. I just would grab and just hold. And if they went for something, I would just go, no, and just hold, you know. And if they tried to do something, I'd just go, no. And he went to open his guard and he went to scissor sweep me or something. He got kind of a knee shield in and he was pushing his foot on my knee or something. And he strained really hard. He had the collar grip in the arm and he went, and he did like that. And when he did it, what do you
I'm just hoping.
You're hoping.
I'm hoping.
A gigantic hard booger, I swear, flew out of his nose. Wait till I tell you where it hits me. I had my mouth kind of open because I was breathing heavy, man. I mean, I'm a big fat guy doing jiu-jitsu. I'm breathing heavy in my mouth, and it went in. It hit me in the back of the throat, like a spitball, man. Like it literally made like a poop in the back of my throat, and I just immediately, my first reaction, I just kind of went and just spit. So I just spit this nasty. I mean, it literally was like boom, like a fucking frozen rope to the back of my throat. And I spit it out, and I think he kind of sort of swept me a little bit. And we scrambled right back to where we were or something. But and I've told stories of some people, and they're like, "Man, I would have quit jiu-jitsu."
Did he realize?
No, he didn't even. I don't think he did because he was straining so hard. And that was the other thing. I remember for a moment thinking, do I stop and tell him what happened, or just let him find out this way? Maybe he'll see this. You know? Yeah, he'll see this. Man, I'm like sweating
Josh Hicks was his name.
I think so.
So
yeah.
if you're watching Josh Hicks,
man, I'm sweating my ass off,
it's
dude.
pretty hot.
We got to get an AC in here, Ben. Where are we at on the AC? Anyway,
there's one right down the road.
Yeah, we can literally go 20 feet. My whole house has AC. We're out in this fucking box. It sounds like a good idea. It looks cool in here, but fucking hot, man. We could be doing this on my couch right now with like a fan on us and an AC going. That was the other thing I thought. Should I stop him and tell him what's going on? You know, and I didn't. He was straining. He was like, you know, he was on his side, deep collar, wrist control, or you know, behind my elbow or something, you know, arm control, and he was like a scissor kind of sweep, and he was, you know, like looking over his shoulder and everything. So I don't think that's why it hit me.
It lined up.
He had to be at this angle where he was like, I mean, because he was really going for it. I mean, he was like, you know, and he was straining because I was like, no, I'm not going to swim. No. And I was probably 30 or 40 pounds heavier than him anyway. And then I'm just like, no. And he's trying to use technique on me. And I'm like,
and that's
no.
what he did. He fired a rocket at you.
Anyway, so that's my, you know, I sweat. I mean, we get sweat in each other's mouth every night in jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
I was talking about making shirts that say jiu-jitsu. We get each other sweat in our mouth. You know what I mean?
You know, I've been thinking different ideas for shirts too. We got to talk about where one would get. Because there's a certain quality of shirt I like.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
the
me
material.
too. Yeah, me too.
And I don't know if any people in town sell these things, so we'll talk about that later.
When you go to a place to get T-shirts made, they usually have the cheapest, because I've done it before. The cheapest thing is all cotton.
Yeah, and those are shitty.
They're shitty and they fall apart. You can get the higher quality. They have the thickness too. If you go to a good place, they'll have all cotton, and then they'll have like thread, almost like thread count, like in sheets, like a sort of the thickness. And then you can get like polyester cotton blends or whatever.
That's what I like.
You know, like you know, you can even get like rash guard type stuff and all that. Yeah. It just depends on who you go to.
Cool. Well, we'll talk about that. Yeah. I wanted to make some shirts for this and some other stuff.
Oh, anyways. Okay, yeah, cool. So that's my gross jiu-jitsu story.
Yeah, there's an etiquette, and you wonder sometimes, did they see this? Should we stop? Yeah. Should I say it's not my fault? Is it their fault?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And that's a weird thing. One time, this was MMA, but we're going to call it no gi because we didn't have gis on. But omoplata. We all know what an omoplata is. And yes, that's all that matters.
That's all we're talking to. It's just me and you right now.
So I get this cat, my buddy. He's my size, and I got him in an omoplata locked in. I've got his hip. I'm reaching over to grab his head. I've got it locked in my foot. I'm stretching him out with my foot. I'm stretching his other arm out. And right before I did that, right before I twisted to the omoplata, I farted. And it was something bad. And I farted, and I wasn't like, I'm going to put his face in it, but by doing an omoplata, it shifted his body right to where if there was a cloud, then his face is now in the cloud. Yeah. And I've got this omoplata locked in. And he stands right up out of it and just drops me and walks off. And he said, "You nasty motherfucker." And I have no idea.
How did he get out?
I have no idea. It was that bad.
And he just was like, nope.
Like I said, he's not getting I was like, what? He's like, you nasty mother. I was like, oh, my bad, dude.
Who are you rolling with? Somebody?
A buddy of mine.
Just a buddy?
Yeah, it was the MMA guy.
Oh,
Trained
okay.
with me,
Yeah, okay.
Chris Smith. But yeah, it was a good training partner of mine, real good friend. But
you just stood up out of it.
Stood up straight out of it. And that's what I think sometimes whenever people get me in holds, that if the circumstances were right, I might be able to get out of this. Because I've seen it happen.
If you have the motivation.
The right motivations, yeah.
Because you're going, just tap.
Yeah, I can't. I don't want to hurt myself. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll just tap.
But yeah, the etiquette is a weird thing, and you don't really know when to stop or what you should do. I try to be very courteous.
It is a weird thing, but
like the nails. That's a motherfucker.
Yeah, it is a weird thing, but I think also too that just the more and more we do it, and especially who you're rolling with, like when you catch somebody with an elbow or something, you do the whole sorry real quick, but 99.9999% of the time it's like, don't worry about it. It's fucking jiu-jitsu. That's what happens. You're trying to be nice, but also too that. Whatever,
Well, if me and you go, if me and you go, we've done it enough. We're close enough to know that there's no fucking way that I just elbowed you in the head on purpose to get some kind of weird advantage.
Yeah, just scrambling.
Clearly an accident.
You zigged when I should have zagged, and whatever, and bam, elbow. Yeah, this shit happens, dude. I've kneed so many people in the face. I mean, I'm trying not. I think we were talking about that the other day. Philip was like, Barrett. Like the worst black eye I've ever had was Barrett. I don't even remember if I was passing his guard, if he was passing mine, but somehow I got a knee between his face and my face. And and he had just gotten some new job or whatever. So, and they were like, "What, Philip? Can we talk to you?" He's like, I wasn't at a bar or anything. I'm doing jiu-jitsu. Now, like you said, now they know. They don't even ask him anymore. It just shows up with bruises and shit. Yeah, but like you said, if something happens between me and you, there's no way that I did it on purpose.
Yes.
And no way you did it on purpose. But yeah, with somebody new, you don't really know, and they don't really know either.
And it's a higher chance of it happening because they get sporadic. White belts, new people, they're not used to it. They get energetic, sporadic. They want to get out of stuff, and they get scared.
Yeah.
So it's way more likely to happen.
Yeah. Or they just want to get on top or
something.
Yeah.
They want to win. They have an ego, whatever it is, and so that's a weird thing.
I love that jiu-jitsu kind of crushes your ego, but then it rebuilds it into something much more usable and reality based. Does that make sense to you? Because you don't really know.
It's almost more solid.
Yeah, even though it's more humble, but more healthy at the same time.
Yeah,
because we all have that. Oh man, I do this and I'm capable of this and whatever, and then you get. And if you've watched jiu-jitsu YouTube videos and all that stuff and you follow people, they talk about this all the time. It's a super common theme. You're going to get the shit kicked out of you. You're just going to. I mean, you could be a badass. You may kick everybody's ass, but somebody is going to have your number. You're going to get, especially in the beginning, you're going to get tapped. You're going to get swept. You're going to get smothered. You're going to tap out from cardio and all that shit. And you realize like, wow, there's not only A, is there something to this, but B, like I'm not the badass at all, and then you slowly rebuild this, not that I even thought I was, but if ever I would have like, yeah, man, I got 50 pounds on this dude, ain't gonna be nothing to me. And all of a sudden I'm like, just choking. I don't even know what's going on. So it breaks your ego down, but then as you kind of keep going and you survive and you get better and you start being the one that holds people down and crushes them a little bit, and you have this responsibility, it rebuilds your ego into something I think much more healthy. Like I don't really know what somebody out there is capable of, but I know what I'm capable of, and I know that I'm not only better at jiu-jitsu, but I'm a better person than I was 5 years ago, 4.5 years ago, whenever I started jiu-jitsu. Does that make sense to you? So you still have an ego, but it's so much more like my ego is now, I'm better than I used to be. It's not, I'm just fucking awesome. I'm better. I have this ego. I know that I have worth and value, and I believe I can accomplish things, and I'm going to be stubborn about certain things and all that, but it's so much more healthier. It's more, I'm going to be a better person. I'm going to try to accomplish higher quality things in my life, and jiu-jitsu has kind of done a lot of that for me, So anyway, I'm rambling again.
No, that's good stuff, man.
How about that?
I can appreciate that, and I think that's why we should have jiu-jitsu or wrestling, something combat related in schools.
Yeah.
And from first grade all the way to 12th grade, and make it mandatory a few years, just like they make languages mandatory. You got to take a year of French or whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah.
They should make these things mandatory, so you have to be put in these terrible situations, these violent situations that are under control,
right.
and see that you can make it through there. You build confidence, because what I think you're getting at is, at least on some level, is we're not put in these situations, so we have egos built off of, they're hollow, they're empty.
Yeah,
It's insecurity.
Right.
Your whole ego is built out of insecurities, because that's how it has to be. You're never put in these bad situations. Where in jiu-jitsu, we rebuild it. We break it down and rebuild it out of confidence. Now you walk around with this ego, the same. From the outside, it may look the same, but it's built completely different. It's not a straw house. It's
the foundation.
It's a
is
foundation
much better,
of confidence versus just insecurities. And I think that's super important. We don't have that, and I struggle to give my kids that.
Yeah. Well, and I'm not even talking about dude, somebody out there that's never done jiu-jitsu could, hit me with a brick in a parking lot at the gas station at 2 a.m. There's nothing, no amount of triangles and arm bars and choking and people and can do anything about it. But it's not just that stuff in my life. It's setting up all this to do a podcast. It's forming a bond with somebody like you that I feel comfortable. Hey, come over to my house, man. Let's just talk for an hour and a half, and we'll record it. And you're like, fuck yeah, let's do it. And with like Philip, so we're just, or somebody. I mean, almost everybody that I've talked to, they were like, oh, the podcast came out good, man. And I like, Tim. I was like, well, come on in one day. He's like, sure. We're such different backgrounds,
yes.
Me and Tim. And I know that he could come over and we could sit like this and we could talk for, an hour or two, and we could mute our phones. And so it's given me the confidence just to not really confidence, but just the idea. I know that if I want to accomplish something, you just got to do, I want to do a podcast. Well, okay. Well, how am I going to do that? Okay, I got to get some shit together, and I got to get some microphones. I don't really want to talk to myself for 2 hours. I mean, I could, I guess, read the news and bitch or whatever, but I'd like to have a friend come over. So let me talk to, and I think actually didn't you post something in the message board about, so you were thinking about doing a podcast.
I've been thinking about it a while. And
yeah.
that was the kicker. And that was interesting to me, because I just said, if you were on a podcast, what's 3 subjects you talk about?
Right.
And people started chiming in left and right.
Yeah,
and I was
everybody.
like, what the fuck?
Well, we're hungry.
And it wasn't a week later, Philip sends me a picture of some equipment he bought. You said you're just about set up, and hell yeah, that's awesome. I feel like I owe somebody something, because I don't have anything.
Oh, fuck that,
dude.
I'm
saying
you're paying me more than
I'm
you.
struggling here, But it's interesting that you sort of sounds like you're saying that it built your drive, increased your drive, not only your confidence.
I'm still a lazy motherfucker when it comes to a lot of stuff. But when I want to do something, of course, I've never really had a problem. If I wanted to do RC planes or anything, I can focus on it and I can do it. But it's, for some reason, that lesson that if you're interested in something and you want to do something, you can do it. You just show up and chip away at it. Like if I wanted to, I've started to write a little bit. You know what I mean? Like I've done that, and if you just sit there and go, I don't know, whatever thought comes to my head. I'm thinking right now. I'm sitting in front of my computer. My computer's black. I'm listening to this music. This dude's playing a weird guitar riff right now, and you just diarrhea of the brain onto the screen. And eventually, you're all of a sudden you're like, holy shit, I'm typing, I'm writing. I've written 5 paragraphs. It's the same. It's just showing it. But for some reason, jiu-jitsu really makes you. Because there's nothing like somebody holding you down and choking you, and they're about to tap you with something they've tapped you with 5 times, and you're just like, you know what? They're not tapping me this time.
Today.
And you can't just, you have to really just get your hands in, think, breathe, make some space, keep your arms and elbows in tight, protect your neck. Shrimp, get your knee. Oh my God, I got 1/2 inch into his hip. You know what I mean? Shrimp. Oh, I got my knee past his hip bone. Oh shit, I'm making progress. And it's just that kind of, just a little bit, just go push.
I haven't looked at it in that way yet.
Yeah,
that's interesting, man. Well, just to switch gears just a little bit. You said you were doing some writing. Did you have something specific decided you sort of were hoping to be able to write about, or some kind of goal? Like, I want to write a novel. I want to write a fiction story. I want to write a
No.
biography, nothing like that. You just wanted to write
I just figured
and work that muscle.
I just wanted to work that muscle.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I didn't have any
Whether it was funny or sad or whatever,
Nope.
nothing. Just write
No.
it.
I literally sat down. I might have mentioned this the other day, and I was writing.
Yeah,
and I was like, I want to write a joke, and I literally would type out. Now I'm going to try to write a joke. Space, space, space.
Yeah,
or
you
return,
told me.
return. A guy walks into a store. He's about, I think actually a woman walks into a store. She needs some glue because she broke one of her statues. And I think I typed something like, and she goes to the guy on the counter and says, "What kind of glue do I need to fix this particular material in the statue?" And he goes, "Fuck you, bitch." And that was my joke. That was, I don't know. And I literally just, okay, well, let's move on. Okay, that wasn't a very good one. And then and I'm just envisioning this, guy at a hobby shop. Like, why would some old, it's going to be some guy in his 60s or 70s that works on model trains or whatever. He's like, "Fuck you, bitch." I'm just picking. What kind of glue you need, baby?
You bitch.
Yeah. I don't know.
That's great.
So I just went on, and I'm really okay. That wasn't a very good joke. Let's see what else I can talk about.
So have you wrote since then?
I haven't written in a little while.
Okay.
I'm gonna. I pulled out the folder that I had stored it in, and I started thinking I need to do this again. I just need to sit down and do it again.
So you did that on the computer. That wasn't on paper. or
Yeah,
anything?
I like writing on the
computer. Okay, that was my next question.
Yeah, I had a little notepad in my van, and I tried to I'd go eat lunch or something, and I'd sit at the park or whatever, or if I was
Case in the place.
Yeah, right. Yeah, case in the place with my 20-foot long white van with solar panels, and I got my sunglasses on. I'm sitting all low in the seat, looking around. Anyway, yeah. So I tried writing on it, and I could get a couple of paragraphs or something, and I just wound up balling it up, throwing it away.
Oh, okay.
It didn't feel right to me for whatever reason.
Okay.
I just like sitting in front of the computer. And then also, too, occasionally I'll use my phone with the talk feature. I'll just hold it up and just...
Talk to text, or you just record and then go back and listen? Okay.
Talk to text. I have a recorder on there, too, but...
I was just wondering which
usually
one you used.
I like talk to text because I like when I go back, I like reading it rather than listening to it, for whatever reason. I like watching this, though.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I watched our YouTube video a couple times.
Yeah.
I mean, I was just making sure that it worked and it sounded good and all that shit too. But I listened to it a couple of times and I was like, man, that's a good point. And I remember thinking something while like Philip or you were talking, and this is the skill. And I feel like now I'm rambling again because I feel it's a skill. It's like you have to, okay, I've talked for a couple of minutes now. Let me let Ben say something. You know what I mean? And then Ben's talking right now. Okay, when he stops talking, I'm going to say this thing. And you have to get away from that. And that's hard to do because when you turn all this shit on.
Waiting your turn. Yeah. That's a hard one. I've been working on that for a while. It's an interesting thing. But yeah,
when it's timing, when you're sitting, when you're just like after class or something, or we go get food or whatever, there's no record of me cutting you off or you cutting me off in a conversation. You know what I mean? Nobody's going to go back and watch it and be like, man, Barrett sure is being a dick. He's just talking for 2 hours. Ben just sitting over there,
Well, but that's what being able to watch it and go back and critique gets you better, I think, and based on some stuff, it gets you better at thinking yourself. If you can conversate, that means you have your thoughts in order, and you know how to save certain things and get rid of the trash.
Right.
And I'm not good at that at all. That's why you get a lot of hums and ums and whoos. But listening,
you think you are.
I don't mind listening to people talk. Yeah. Because I'm going to try and regurgitate it a little bit just to make sure I understand what you're saying. Because sometimes it goes in there and I bring it out and you're like, no, that's not what I'm saying at all. Dude. No, are you even listening? Like,
are you here right now?
Yeah, I don't think so.
It's a skill. It's like anything, and that's you asked me about writing. I literally just was like, I think I just want to try this. It may be, I may love it. and I didn't like fall in love with it or anything, but it's definitely therapeutic. It's definitely fun. If I'd gone into it like, okay, I'm going to write about, this little amplifier because I love this thing, and I'm going to write a review and an article on it or something and put it on a blog. I don't know if I'd have been able to do that.
Okay.
I may have sat there for a while, because I'm not a super proficient typer and all that anyway. So, but just literally diarrhea of the brain. That was my idea, and it developed. Like I read through it and I was like, okay, that's an idea right there. That's a 4 or 5 sentences that I could turn into a joke or a skit or a play or just expand. I'm going to write about, and I would literally just read, go, okay, I wrote, on January 15th, 2019, I wrote about this. I'm going to write about this some more. And this is why this came to my mind because, just type that stuff. Right. That was my style. What do you do? Are you writing? Are you typing? Are you writing?
Usually I like to write because I
have a notebook with you and stuff. Yeah.
I find that if I type, it's too easy for me to just hit backspace and delete everything I just did, and then it's gone.
Yeah.
For me, but I like to exit out. If I don't like it, I'll put a line through it, just one line.
Right.
That way I can always go back and look at it. I like
what
that.
You're saying, yeah.
It's almost a record of the mistakes.
Right.
It's like in math, whenever you have this big long problem, you're not supposed to erase anything, so you can go back and look at the problems. I like that. I like seeing where I fucked up or where I think I fucked up.
I think that's why I didn't want to have like a topic in mind, because I just kept everything. If I just wrote some random sentence like, "Oh, there's a bug crawling across my desk right now," I just left it in there.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't about anything.
Yeah.
It was just literally me thinking. So it's like a record of my thoughts.
And just doing that is hard for people to do. I've told many people just to sit and write.
It's journaling.
Just start writing.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, it's hard for me to do. No, just write. I am writing a sentence right now.
Yeah.
And then and they still won't commit to doing it.
It was weird. It was because it's just started. It literally I just started going, and all of a sudden, I just put on some like music with no. I remember thinking, I'm gonna listen to some music with no lyrics because I don't want the lyrics. I don't want to start singing or whatever, and then I have to like search for what do I want to hear. So I just put on like chill study music or something. It was just like lo-fi funk study music. And at one point, I remember writing, "Oh, that's a cool piano part. Some piano, blah blah blah." And I looked at the title. It's the name of the person's this.
That's cool.
So I was just journaling, pretty much.
That's
just working out that part of my brain because I think that those you do have these parts of your brain that they're all commingled and they're all depend on each other. But one thing I like about jiu-jitsu is it's almost I'm not thinking at all during jiu-jitsu. I don't think about my girlfriend or taxes or any of that shit. I just do it. Whereas when you're writing, you have to think about whether it's just diarrhea of the brain. You have to be connected with you're making you're going from what's in here to at least a medium. So whether you're painting or you're thinking, you're I know that when you're doing jiu-jitsu, you're using your brain, you're moving your hands and all that, but it's almost kind of like I'm not thinking. It's muscle memory, and it's and I'm not there. I think you can probably get there with typing. Maybe you can.
That's what I was going to say. It sounds like maybe you're less involved. That's not the right word.
Yeah,
but, that's interesting.
It's a personal experience. It's hard to convey. Do you kind of see what I mean, though?
It sort of sounds like you're getting toward like the writing. You're not there, but in jiu-jitsu, you're in a flow state.
Yes. Okay. Maybe, that's the way to describe it. A flow state. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm not there yet. I'm thinking. I guess if I put it in jiu-jitsu terms, it's when you first start and you don't know what to do, so you're just kind of frozen, and then you start to, oh, that's right, deep collar grip. He's got a gi on, deep collar grip. Oh, look, I can break his posture. Oh shit, I broke his posture. And then like
I'm gonna do that tonight.
Yeah,
I forget about shit like that.
Yeah, just breaking posture. Yeah, break. What are you gonna do? Dude. Break posture. Like, oh, I got a sleeve and a deep grip. Okay, scissor sweep. Oh, I'm doing jiu-jitsu. The first thing I ever did when I remember thinking like, I just did jiu-jitsu. I did a scissor sweep.
That's cool.
And I was like, I just did jiu-jitsu. And I think that's what I'm talking about, like writing. I have to kind of think deep collar grip. Okay, grab the sleeve, move. But now in jiu-jitsu, I can it's just, somebody leans in, there's the car, boom, I grab it. They postured this way. Oh, arm drag. You know what I mean? I don't really think much about it. It just kind of happens. And you can probably get there. With writing, you get in that flow state.
Oh yeah, I have no doubt.
Yeah, I think you could, and that's trying to just see what does it take to get into that flow state. Yeah. And it's weird because and I'm rambling again, but in just diarrhea of the brain, I did kind of get to a point where I wasn't really thinking. I was just kind of going.
Yeah.
You know what I
That's
mean?
Cool.
So
it may have been borderline flow state.
Yeah, I kind of got
cool.
there. Like if I was just walking around the kitchen, cleaning or sweeping or whatever, just thinking about my day or yesterday or what I'm going to do tonight or what am I going to eat. I was just you don't really have to work to do that. It just, it's kind of a mini flow state because it's just in your brain. And I got to a point where I remember thinking like, yeah, this is just happening. I'm just typing. It was almost like I just did jiu-jitsu. Like I'm typing. This is cool, and I was writing, this is cool. Holy shit, I'm typing. You know what I mean? It's just, I don't know. So it's like a mini flow state, I guess,
awesome.
briefly, So, how often do you write? You said you try to do it every day. Don't you?
No, I was doing it every day. I'm trying to get back to that now. I was doing it every day for a bit there for a few months, and once again, I do a lot of stuff like that. I'll just, unfortunately, my habit switched to another thing. I'll write instead of doing this or whatever. But I'm trying to get back into that. I was listening to some stuff. I've written or attempted. Let's not.
Oh, that's probably a phone. You need me to stop? Okay.
No, I don't know who that was. I forgot what I was saying, but
you're writing.
Yeah. I've tried to write.
You bounce
fiction.
around.
I've tried to write funny stuff like actual jokes. I've tried to write funny stories. I've tried to just write my thoughts. I've written letters to people that I never sent to them.
Yeah.
I've written sort of analysis of my thoughts, like why am I such a bad dad or whatever it is, why am I fucking this up or how am I messing this up? I write letters to people that I don't really know if I were to talk to them.
Yeah.
And this is a conversation I'd like to have. This is information I'd present to them, and then I'd go back and read and say, no, half of that's silly. Or
You mean like somebody that you know but not well, or just a fictional person that you're just?
Well, no. If what would I hope to say to this person if I met him? Abraham Lincoln.
Oh, okay.
How was life? Fucking slaves or whatever it is you did.
Yeah, I got you.
So I try to write stuff like that sometimes. Just write a whole bunch of stuff. Once again, just to work that what we were calling earlier the creative muscle. Because you got your jiu-jitsu muscle, your mechanic muscle, your troubleshooting muscle. That's the creative muscle, and I think they all need to be worked as much as possible, or you lose them. Yeah. Just like the talking, this is a muscle. This conversation.
It is. It's a muscle. Yeah. I mean, you can get in a flow state with this too, I think. And there's periods where, you kind of feel like you're waiting to talk or you're thinking of a thought. But then there's periods too where you look up and you're like, man, we've been talking for 45 minutes and you don't even remember doing it.
Yeah.
Like you have to go back and be like, oh, that's right. We talked about, we talked about that. Oh yeah. But I think maybe the way I write is kind of a flow state, like a flow drilling kind of state. Because I'm just diary of the brain. And it's like you writing you're drilling kind of. Does that make sense? You have like a specific thing in mind. I'm going to work on this.
Yes, I try to do that sometimes.
You're kind of drilling.
But I'm trying to get in doing that. I'm trying to get to the flow state.
To the flow. And just about your topic. You want to flow about your, okay.
Yeah, because flow state, supposedly you don't have to have, you can do a flow state in fucking anything. It happens mostly in, there's this book called The Rise of Superman. I forget the author, maybe Stephen Kotler. I may have made
Kotler?
that up. Kotler, Kottler. Okay. Anyways, it's about flow states usually occurring. They were able to look at them and study them a little bit in extreme sports. Big wave surfers, the swing suit jumpers, stuff like that.
Right, yeah.
And they were talking about parts of the brain actually shut off and these parts activate. They become more active and stuff like that. And it's really interesting. But I think that just no matter what I'm doing, the writing, no matter what the subject is, whether it's a particular subject or no subject at all, you can get in that flow state. Just like jiu-jitsu. If I go in there working for arm bars, I think that's the same as trying to write nonfiction.
Yeah.
You can get to the flow state and just go through that,
right?
Whatever it is you're going, that exercise.
Right. I've never really tried. Well, that's not true. I did a kit one time, an RC plane kit, where I cut the wings out and I did... I pre-made a lot of the parts and everything, and I had the motor included in the package and like a propeller and adapter and, all that kind of thing. And I drew up a pretty detailed like instruction manual that was probably, like in the 20-ish pages long. And I had, pictures of I just did it all in paint, but I had like, the shape of the wing and where to like cut to put the spar, and the spar was included and how much, the glue to use.
Wow.
And, and it was pretty detailed. So I've done a little bit of that. And then for like work, like when I built UAVs, we were always doing like little manuals or something, like how to connect these. You have 4 or 5 battery packs that are like, lithium polymer packs, and they're 27 or 28 something volts nominal, and you got to plug them all the right way, or you're going to melt this laser or this camera. So when we draw up something and label everything, so I've done that kind of I guess technical manual stuff, and actually it's kind of fun. I guess because I've always done it about something I was interested in. So it's like a technical manual, but like if I did like how to record a podcast with 2 microphones with your friend Ben, I could do that. Like, okay, you need these wires. This is a computer. You need.
Draw pictures.
Yeah, you draw a little picture and shit. I worked on a satellite program briefly at ULL, which means I just had the code to the office to go in. They did a program called CubeSat, and it's 10 centimeter by 10 centimeter cube, and they raise money and they build it to do solar power and communicate down with the ground station and all that, and they would launch it every couple of years. The school would buy payload capacity on a Russian rocket.
Oh wow!
And you could and it's like $10,000 or something to launch one of them or whatever, or $20,000 to launch one. So they literally do like bake sales and shit like that to raise money for it.
It's a lot of cookies.
Yeah, man. And then they get this, and they get a little satellite up in space, and if their calculations work and everything holds and the solar panels don't fail, they can send signals back and forth. And it's only as sophisticated as the engineering students could make it, using basically off the shelf components and calculating and stuff. And I did some technical drawings for that. Just real cool. basic stuff. I mean, I did it for like a month. You know what I mean? Just like, yeah, I'll draw some shit up, Did that. I didn't really know what was going on, but I could draw. This is a CubeSat. Here are the solar panels. It's going to be like this over the Earth, that kind of shit. But writing to try to bring out an emotion, or like why I could be a better person or a better dad or a better.
Yeah, most of mine's just pouting. Let's not.
You just kind of.
I just fucking pout.
I don't understand.
Yeah. You ever have like an interaction with like a raccoon or anything?
Yeah, man.
Have you got attacked or?
No, I've
you
fed.
Caged and so you fed them. Cool.
Yeah, we stayed at this place in Gulf Shores that like a campground. There's raccoons everywhere, and they would just come
fucking
up to
hobos basically.
They would just come up to you, and if you were like
Nuisance.
outside with like a bag of chips or something, you could and they would literally come up and just take it out. It's kind of dangerous.
Yeah, it's fucking dangerous.
Yeah, I was 16.
Well, that's okay.
Whatever, like well, he's right, and they're it's a little weird, like 1 or 2, but then like there's like 9,
There's a pack of
and
them?
they're like kind of like they'll start like kind of over the chips and stuff, and
Oh,
you're
that's
like,
scary.
Hey guys, come on, chill. And like you start.
And then they get at your ass. Yeah.
Why did you get attacked?
No, I just thought about raccoons. When you said something about Russia, I was wondering if the Russian raccoons would fight the American raccoons. But I don't even
What's
know
a Russian raccoon?
I don't know. I was just wondering if there were Russian raccoons.
I bet you there are. They're probably.
It's cold. It's cold over there, so I
cold,
assume.
thicker skin.
Yeah, they're probably.
Thicker hide, more hair, more fur, probably a little
I
larger,
wonder if
more
they think
fat.
these are pussies. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pussy raccoons. It's like
Pussy raccoons.
I wonder if they. I wonder how they would compare to our badgers.
I don't know, man. That's a weird. It's a weird thing to think about. The Russian raccoon compared to a badger.
I don't even know if there are Russian.
Yeah, we
raccoons,
should
to be honest with you.
No,
If we had Jamie here,
Yeah, look that shit up. We needed something like that.
we'll get better at it.
We need something like that. Just like a computer on a wheel.
We'll get somebody to do it eventually.
Yeah, somebody.
Once we get sponsored by CBD oil and
yeah, something.
and MeUndies or whoever else fucking wants to sponsor shit.
MeUndies.
I'm gonna go get some sponsorships through town.
Yeah,
somewhere.
that'd be a good idea.
Somewhere.
Just at the beginning, we can be like, okay, and we'll go have lunch today at El Reparo or something, or El Rodeo.
Well, you said last night. I think was it last night or was it the day before where you ate the whole pizza? Was it last night.
Yeah. Domino's pizza by myself last night. Wait,
You ate it the night before. You told me that last night.
Before last. Yeah.
You ever eat Philly's pizza? That's a big New York style type.
Yeah, I mean, you talking about like, is it a place around
Philly's?
here?
Yeah, there's one here in Tioga,
Oh.
and then there's like 3 in Ellick now. They started
no,
in Tioga.
No, I don't think I actually have.
Big New York style slices. Anyways, I was hoping you were saying that just because I like that. That's the only real pizza around here I eat.
Okay,
I've never
give it
eaten
a
at
shot.
Wildwood, but I've heard they're good.
It's
too.
pretty good. Yeah, it's like gourmet. It's supposed to be like gourmet pizza, but it's pretty good. But I had I had a Domino's. It was a thin crust, so
I'm with that.
I didn't go crazy.
Yeah, I'm with that. It's not.
But I may or may not have dipped it in blue cheese. I think I talked about that
Oh my
last
God.
night.
Yeah,
so
you did. That
it
sounds
was.
amazing.
Yeah, it was $9.99 pickup, and I got a thin crust, large with 5 toppings and.
Just
Fucking 2 liter of Coke and drank. You know what I did with the Coke, man? Okay, Coke is Coke.
So
I had a couple glasses of Coke, and then when I was done eating pizza, I poured it down the sink. I just
for you.
poured it all down the sink. I was
Good
like,
for you.
if I leave this in the house, I'm gonna drink this shit.
Wow.
I'll wake up at 3 a.m. like,
There's
I need some Coke. Just go stand in the fridge
straight
in my
out the
underwear.
fucking bottle, just pouring down your belly. Go get right back in bed.
Right back in bed.
Fucking single man's life.
Yeah, pretty much, man. Oh, jeez. But I didn't. I poured it down the sink.
Well, good for you, man.
I poured it down the
That
sink.
takes some willpower, to be honest with you.
for sure. I was proud. I was a little proud of myself.
That-
I was like, man, look at me.
Yeah.
Just blah, blah, blah.
Did you try to stop every once in a while?
No,
just save a little bit.
I took this the cap off and just like a Band-Aid,
Oh,
man.
good.
I just boom and just did it. I almost just dumped it and put the spout or
Yeah,
whatever
all the way down
all
in
the way
there, yeah.
down
I
into
was
the
thinking that.
disposal and walked away, but
Yeah.
I held it. So and
good
then I
for
threw the
you.
bottle away. I was proud of myself, man.
You got any weaknesses when it comes to foods?
Yeah, Coke and pizza.
Just Coke and fucking pizza.
And hamburgers. I
Man,
like
well,
it.
Well, hamburgers are okay because it's meat, you know.
Yeah,
I'm
it's a lot
talking
of
like,
bread too.
Well, yeah, I
mean,
don't ever eat the bread.
Yeah, well, I do. I mean, I've done that before where you just eat. But if I go get like, yeah, well, I do eat the bread, motherfucker.
You
So,
piece of shit.
but I mean, if you go get like a triple super large one, you could get
Yeah.
rid of the bread, just eat the meat.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. It's just one of those things that every once in a while I'm like, all right, I want a triple cheeseburger from Wendy's, and I'm going to get one. I don't care. You know,
That's cool.
it's just, I mean, whatever. I'm never going to be. I mean, I'll actually. I haven't eaten today. What time is it? I don't even.
really? It's
Yeah. What time is it? Let's see. It's 2:00, and I haven't eaten yet. You know.
Well, that's cool. Well, you're doing.
Oh,
what
we got a subscriber.
Josh is doing. Josh is doing his fasting. Not that you're trying to, but
Well, I'm
He's
kinda,
trying to.
I'm trying to a little. I do that intermittent
yeah,
fasting. You know.
for weight loss or for
I
just to practice it.
Yeah, and it's like I've heard that
It's good for a lot of
I
things,
think
supposedly.
evolutionary we would probably live more in a fasting state. You know, 5,000, 10,000, 50,000 years ago, our ancestors would probably be more in a fasting state, and they'd have to expend giant amounts of energy. Excuse me, to kill prey, carry prey, prepare it, move it across, chasing prey and all that stuff. And large prey, and then they'd be able to eat a lot, and then they would probably have to fast, and that's probably that's how we kind of evolved, I think. And I've read and heard and listened to some podcasts and stuff about it, and they say that your mental capacity increases, like
Supposedly,
15, 20% on like spatial awareness and problem solving tasks and stuff like that, concentration, and so. It just and then even so as much as like your bone, like your bones thicken if you do it over a certain amount of time. I mean, I've heard all kinds of
Yeah, me too.
claims. I think if even 5% of the claims I've read are true, then it's probably
It's interesting,
good.
yeah.
And I always feel better. I always feel better when I'm losing weight than when I'm gaining weight. Even if I'm 220 and I'm going to 210, going down, I feel better than when I'm 210 going to 200. I don't know why. I feel like I feel more alert. I feel more.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I don't know. You do. I mean, you kind of naturally diet. You just eat healthy.
Yeah, I eat like shit a lot of times, but
Do
I
you
try to
really?
eat
Like,
as-
what's a shit day for you? What do you eat?
Like I've been eating a lot of chocolate lately.
Yeah.
to be
What's
honest
I
with
mean,
you.
is it dark chocolate?
I eat dark chocolate, so I just eat. Oh, so for instance, over the Christmas holidays, everybody uses holidays as an excuse.
Yeah.
But I ate almost a whole cheesecake throughout the holiday
Yeah.
because I made the
whole
fucking
damn
cheesecake.
thing.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Well,
You
yeah.
made it? Yeah?
Yeah,
It came out-
I love cooking.
Apparently, it came out good if you ate the whole damn
Well,
thing.
to me, it was.
Yeah, you made it the way you wanted it. Like,
Yeah.
fucking good to me.
Well, so
I'll
I,
eat it.
I made this other thing. It was called a chocolate peanut butter icebox cake.
Chocolate,
take
peanut
you-
butter icebox cake.
Yeah,
All
so
right,
you
got
take
it.
your you use a springform
Oh,
pan like
man.
you do a cheesecake, and you take peanut butter Oreos. You ever had those? Peanut
no,
butter. in the
but they sound great.
Yeah, they're stupid. So you take them and you dip them in milk, and you make your crust out of that. You set those down and dip milk, set them down, and you make your.
So you dip them in milk, and then you make like a soggy crust.
yeah,
out
you
of it?
just dip it in there and set it down.
Oh,
You-
real
and you-
quick.
and you
Okay.
make a little layer out
Okay,
of that.
okay.
And then you with your cheesecake batter, you make whipped cream out of whipping cream. You make your whipped cream out of
Okay,
that,
all right.
and you mix that all together, and then you separate it 2 to 1. So you got your 2/3 over here and 1/3, and then you mix the bigger one with peanut butter, so you have a peanut butter layers, and you have the other one you have mixed with chocolate. So you pour a peanut butter layer, and then you put more cookies, a chocolate layer, more cookies, a peanut butter layer, and sprinkle some crushed up Reese's peanut butter cup on top of that. Yeah, That's what I'm saying. I ate some of it.
You ate this like a whole thing by
No,
yourself?
fuck no. Fuck
Oh,
no.
okay,
No,
okay.
no.
Okay.
No, I ate some of it, and I haven't eaten it. But here's the point of all that.
Okay. Well,
What
is the point?
I'll eat this shit, and I'll get so upset
You get
that I ate like 2 pieces that I'll ask her, "Are y'all gonna eat this?" Oh yeah, probably. I'll just throw it away.
Really?
I'll throw it the
you
fuck
have
away.
To get it out.
Yeah.
Because you're
But
you're
if
gonna
it's
eat
real good, and I haven't eaten enough of it, I'll try to throw it all away, and I'm like, I'm just gonna leave this little piece. It's just a little piece. I'm throwing all this away, and I've got this little piece.
I mean,
So it's like that fat kid that's inside me. I love food, dude.
Well, but I mean, I justify it too. Like, all right, so I mean, I'm gonna fucking eat a fucking cookie, and drink a Coke, or I eat a whole pizza. I'm probably gonna fast 3 or 4 times this week. I'm gonna eat okay most of the week. Around Thursday, Friday, I start like, man, I kind of want to just go get a pizza, But then I know, I'm going to go to jiu-jitsu 4 times this week.
Well, so pizza doesn't do it for me anymore, unless like it's like Phillies. Phillies is awesome,
I
but
need
like
to try
regular
that,
pizzas,
I just get a craving for it.
I just don't. It just doesn't in my brain. It doesn't register as worth it to me because like I don't eat a lot of doughs. I don't eat rice, anything like that, because it fills me up too quick, and I'm a glutton. I'm going to eat a lot no matter what.
Yeah.
So if I eat a lot of vegetables instead of a lot of rice, I think it's better for me. And plus, I don't feel bloated afterwards. But I forgot where I was going with that.
Dude, it was the night I was kind of editing the first podcast, which actually isn't the first, but the first one that I got on posted to YouTube. And I just knew I was going to sit out here for a couple of hours, and it's got to render, and I had to kind of do a little audio. I kind of did a little compression on the audio for a couple of little things. And so I knew I was gonna be sitting out here for a while, starting the YouTube account, moving files back and forth, saving everything. Oh shit, that camera didn't work. So I just was like, you know what, fucking, I want a pizza. I'm just gonna sit out here and enjoy myself.
Awesome.
Yeah. So, and I get like, I think was it like a Sunday night or something? I did that, or
yeah. You told me Monday.
Yeah. So it was the end of the week. Just wanted a pizza. Good.
When I worked offshore, I would be gone for 3 weeks at a time, and I would practice while I was out there fasting for 24-hour periods. I would do it twice a week, I think. And to me, that was awesome because sometimes you feel like you get those feelings like, God damn, I'm starving. You ate 2 hours ago.
Yeah.
And then as soon as you get over that hump, 30 minutes, whatever it is, it goes away. You're not even hungry. Even if the food's in front of you, you're not quite hungry anymore. And I thought it was interesting when I would do these diets, or fast rather, I would do it throughout 2 days, basically. So I would eat dinner, and I wouldn't eat again, or maybe lunch, and I wouldn't eat again until tomorrow at lunchtime.
Okay.
So I'm not going a whole day, like a wake day, without eating.
Right, yeah.
So it's a little easier mentally.
Yeah.
But I felt that it was... I found that whenever I could eat, I would eat, and then I'd sort of be planning. Well, I'm going to get a break about this time. What am I going to have for a little snack?
Right, yeah.
But as soon as my brain said I couldn't eat anymore, I had more energy for one, but I wasn't always thinking about what am I going to eat.
Yeah.
It was just I was free to think about other things, and my brain went other. I thought that was very interesting.
Yeah, that's a good point. When you say, okay, I'm not going to eat till 3:00, and I'm going to eat between 3 and 8. Or whatever, and then I'm not going to eat again until 3:00. It is easier for some reason. Just thinking I'm going to cut back, or whatever.
Because then you take a bite. It's still small bites. Yeah, I'm going to eat 48 small bites.
Right,
that's a fucking meal.
It's weird. I mean, I've never really worried much about diet. I've never done a lot of working out. That's why I so happy that I love jiu-jitsu, because it's a workout that I'm more than happy to go do.
That's
awesome.
What
I mean? I'll go. I mean, yeah, sure. Once in a while, every couple of weeks, I gotta take a break. My body's beat up. I'm tired. I want to stay home and eat a pizza. You know what I mean? But for the most part, I can't wait to go again. Even when I'm like, God, I'm fucking tired. Like today, I'm like, man, I am tired. And I start thinking, should I skip jiu-jitsu tonight? No, I'm going tonight. And you got here, and you're like, hey, we're gonna work on some butterfly shit. And I was like, yeah, cool, because I don't hardly ever do that, and it's making me do it. I'm learning. And I justify, because it's not just running. I used to run a lot, and I actually got kind of thin just running. I didn't realize how thin I was till I looked back at pictures of myself.
Do you have any?
Probably
not.
On you, yeah, probably not on me.
Oh,
yeah, but I wasn't super thin for me. You know what I mean? Like 180 something, and I'm 210 right now. You know what I mean? So that's thin for me.
That's pretty legit.
And I was eating, like avocado and cheese, and just just trying to eat clean, I guess, like fat, cheese and all that, but it's fat. It's good fat or whatever. And I got kind of thin. But with jiu-jitsu, at least I'm learning a skill, kind of, and the camaraderie,
So. That's fun. Do you plan on competing anymore?
Well, I've actually never.
You've never competed? Okay, that's what I meant to ask.
I'm thinking about. I'm not. I mean, I've already said that I was going to do. I've got to register. I was going to do the IBJJF
in March. March 3rd or whatever.
Yeah, are you doing that?
I don't know. I'd like to go and I'd like to compete, but I don't know yet. So
okay. It'd be cool if you go. Yeah. I think there's a lot of us going.
I think so as well.
And honestly, man, I'm thinking about. Is it 2 days or 1 day or what?
That I don't know.
You don't know, because it crossed my mind to actually bring some of this like
that'd be
like
cool.
A setup if it's 2 days. And at the very least, bring a camera, and walk around, and we could record each other's matches and stuff, and I'll bring extra batteries and all that shit. And I'm sure one of us, or we can find a wife or somebody or a girlfriend or whatever to record if we, maybe if we're all in matches or something. But and then we can use that for part of the little fight companion type thing we want to do. Yeah,
I'm looking forward to that.
I need to put a call out in the messenger to anybody that has footage, like rolling footage, so I can try to get some of it. Like, oh yeah, I got this competition, I got that, because it's every time I go, I got to bring in all 3 cameras. And I thought, what? I bet somebody. I mean, you got some
Tracy,
stuff on your phone.
I've got some.
Tracy's
Tracy
got
records
some.
a bunch of stuff.
Yeah,
and I think
I know Dustin's
Christos.
got some. Christos, yeah. If I can kind of pool it and put it on, like get it somebody, get everybody email it to me, or or just maybe bring my computer and put it on the. My little external hard drive or something, just the more I have, the better, and I can categorize it.
So are you waiting to get all this footage together and sort of break that down before you sort of throw a time frame on when you want to do it?
Well, that was just one idea. The other thing is okay, if we want to do one, when do we want to do it? And when is our next open mat? And who's going to be there? Okay, you want to do a Fight Companion podcast next week? Okay, cool. This Saturday at Open Mat, I'll bring everything, record everything. We'll talk to whoever. Where are we doing Open Mat this Saturday? Is it Christos or no? It's probably
yeah.
We can tell everybody ahead of time, like, hey, let's roll more, or try to get everybody to roll more. Like we just show up. Hey, we're like the way Christos does it. Christos, he'll post, hey, Open Mat,
5
ball,
and 5.
we're going to do 5 and 5s, and so we show up, and if somebody had a question, we'd obviously answer it, but pretty much everybody shows up with a rolling on their brain. Does that make sense? Yeah. So if we can do that, then we'll have a good solid hour footage of us rolling.
That's cool.
2 or 3 different angles, and then that's enough. That's enough for us to talk. We can just watch on the computer, pause. We can pause it and talk and go back to it, fast forward and rewind. So
yeah, I'm super pumped for that, dude. It's gonna be exciting.
Yeah, or I could just gather up, as much footage from everybody as I can.
I think the first one would be easier. I think it would be easier just to say, hey, whoever wants to, we're gonna record some stuff to do a podcast with.
Yeah, we're gonna use it for the podcast.
Yeah, and that'll urge a lot of people to show up probably, and then you have some complainers that they find reasons I can't come because the world exists or whatever.
Well, shit. Yeah, shit happens. And then also too, if somebody wants to be on the podcast, to like me, you, Philip, maybe Micah, or anybody wants to do it, they can show up and roll, and then we can all laugh at how that person rolling, and we can laugh at me getting swept by somebody or tapped. Man, dude, I rolled Ricky the other day. He kicked. He told me actually stop saying that, man. I don't know if I was bugging him or whatever, but he kicked the shit out of me, dude. He tapped me like 15 damn times. I mean, not really, but I was like,
was it something that no one usually gets you with, or was it a normal?
Every one of them. He got me. He wrist locked me, which doesn't hardly ever happen. Then he, I think bow and arrow, which is kind of Ricky's thing. He's bow and arrow a lot. Modified bow and arrow or something. He just got around, got the collar, and just squeezed some kind of way. Yeah. What else? I think he tapped me 3 or 4 times. I don't remember the other 2. It was kind of a blur, but it was funny because I was like. I said something like, dude, you're kicking this shit out of me. This is awesome. It's so funny. I got the shit kicked out of me the other day, and I I learned something about myself. What'd you learn? I got the shit kicked out of me. Like, well, that's a good thing to learn. Yeah, you'd be surprised. It's really good for you. So, but I don't remember what else he got me with, but it was fun.
It's probably a few wrist locks. He's been into wrist locks here lately.
He got me with one for sure. There may have been two. And I stopped the second one early or something. I don't remember.
Because he was real into half guard stuff for a while.
Yeah, he's been
because he has to use a lot of that. He says because I guess the caliber of people that are over there.
He's got some guys. Yeah, apparently like pretty good brown belt.
Yeah,
some
that
guys
dude,
that
I
wrestled.
forget his name, but yeah, that dude. Yeah. That I forget his name, so I can't give him the credit he deserves. But this is the first time I've rolled with somebody, so each of us have two lapels or two the tails there at the end of our jacket, right?
Yeah.
And so there's 4 altogether. Pretty easy math.
Yeah,
there.
It's pretty easy.
This is the first time I've ever rolled with somebody where I had no idea whose was around my, because he just kept switching, bam, 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 all 4 of them.
Oh,
bam.
really?
And I had no idea where they were coming from, whose it was, and eventually it would just overwhelm me. He was choking me with mine, and then he let go and choke me with it. It was just the craziest shit to me.
He was just feeding.
He was very good with feeding them and maneuvering. I was like, holy.
Like cross collar style, or just.
It was more from maybe side, half guard, and north south from turtle position.
Okay, so he was just all over.
Yeah,
the
just
place.
all over. He was very good, usually from side and half guard.
Yeah,
but yeah, it was just amazing.
Man, is this one of his white belts?
No, it was the brown belt. I forget his name. The shorter guy, shorter boat up dude.
When was this? I don't.
This is months ago.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, man,
months,
was this
months.
recent? I wish I would have tried to roll with him.
Yeah, this has been months ago. I forget his name. I think it starts with a J. If I had to really guess.
I know what you're talking about. Is he in the military?
I believe so.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No, I was thinking, golly, who's doing this to you? Because I didn't get it. Was that an open mat or something? Yeah, I just missed it or something. Yeah.
Yeah, it was only 4 or 5 of us there. It wasn't a lot of people that night or that day.
Yeah. So, and we can do it. We can take all those old. Tracy's got.
Yeah, he's got
videos from 4 or 5 years. You know what I mean?
That'd be fun too.
You're like watching that old shit.
Well, out of just me wanting to do it as quick as possible, I would say do the recording, that one roll, and then come do it. Just because I want to do it.
You want to do it.
But that would be super fun. That would be really fun.
Edit it all together and just watch. We could, what we could do is edit all Coach's jokes together. Just laugh at his cheesy jokes and his humor. His sense of humor is so hilarious. That's funny.
Awesome.
But yeah, so pretty soon I'll have probably, if you want, we can shoot for next open mat, and I'll.
That's cool. This weekend I should be able. I might make it. Anyways, I'll let you know.
And I've already got like a couple of open mats, so I could put them all together just in one big 2-hour-long movie. Yeah. And we could watch and fast forward through, and you want to see? Oh, if you had particular, I want to see my role with me and Philip or whatever. We could go to it. Yeah. So actually, probably won't be Philip for a while.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah. It's weird. Last night, I know me and we rolled, right?
Yes.
I had a hard time remembering my roles. And normally, I get home and I can kind of. Okay, I roll with Ben. I roll with Mitchell, and I roll with Jared, and I can kind of Jared did this, and I tapped Mitchell with that, or he got me on this. But last night I couldn't remember. It's weird. It's like it was a blur.
Huh.
I don't know what that was about.
That fucking pizza.
Yeah, still just hanging out, man. Like doing damage to my body.
God damn it.
I'm gonna see how long it's been, right quick. It's 2:21. We've been going for an hour and 27 minutes. Yeah, okay. I didn't know what time you had. I know you had to head out a little bit.
I got to leave here at 3.
Okay,
at 3 latest.
Okay, cool. Well, that'll give me a chance to hopefully we'll save everything, and it looks like everything's still recording. I mean the camera's still there.
Awesome.
Fucking sound still going through. So man, we may have kind of worked out some bugs.
Awesome.
But cool, man.
Dude, I appreciate you. Yeah. Appreciate it, brother. Purple Shed Podcast.
Yeah, thanks, man. Purple Shed Podcast. And we're going to get AC in here real soon.
Woo!